Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backstage with Fred Cooper. And my guest tonight is one of the fabulous Andrews sisters, Patty Andrews. It is Patty Andrews. I'll tell you, this is really a thrill. Believe me, I mean it. No, I seriously mean that. You guys were some of my favorite people of all time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
You bet.
Good.
You
That's
bet.
Good to hear.
In fact, when I go walking, I listen to you and Bing and some of those things that you guys did years ago.
Yeah, that was really something. You know, recording with Bing Crosby, that was a dream come true.
Well, you guys weren't bad on your own.
I know it, but it was, really a wonderful
Oh, I
thing
bet.
recording with
Sure.
him because he was so talented, And we had a good marriage together when it came to recording.
Did you?
We really did. We really got along just great together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tell me, let's start off with your life. Okay? Let's start. Yeah. When did you start in show business? How did it happen? Where did you live? Where did you go to school? Things like that.
When was Lincoln shot?
Oh, come on now.
No? Wasn't that when it was?
No.
I thought that's what it was.
You're not. Now, come on.
Okay. All right. We were born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mhm.
We started out like what they called in those days kiddie reviews. We belonged to a dancing school,
Mhm.
and every summer vacation they'd put a show on at the Orphan Theater in Minneapolis. And we started out sort of like that, singing. And when we were kids, we used to love the Boswell sisters.
Oh.
And we used to copy everything that the Boswell sisters did, It was kind of funny, because we were born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mhm.
And the Boswell sisters were born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And they had a southern accent.
Uh-huh.
And it's the funniest thing because when we copied their arrangements, we sang
Southern.
songs with a southern accent. Here we're from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was funny.
I had a thrill talking to 20 years ago. I talked to Connie Boswell. She called one time. And
Did you?
yeah, and that was all of this is exciting to me, really.
Oh, that's nice.
So in Minneapolis, what did you go on radio at that time?
Well, no. We joined a show that played theaters all over the country called the RKO Circuit in those days. And it was a big review show, and we stayed with that show for about a year, and we got a good taste of show business. So, and we were very, very young, when we started. So our mother joined us, and our father said, you come home and go back to school. And we said no, so our mother joined us, and we stayed in the business, and we sang with bands, and we did a little nightclub work, and just tried to get a job wherever we could,
Tough days, was it? in those
yes,
days?
starving days.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you don't notice those things because being in show business was so terrific to us, We didn't care whether we ate or not, just so we could sing. Right.
And you guys were super. You were super.
Yeah.
Then what? You went with big bands for...
Yeah, we sang with some bands, around Milwaukee and in Chicago and things like that. And it was while we were singing with the band, we arrived in New York, and then all of a sudden the band broke up. And so we were stranded in New York, and by that time our father was with us also. So Mother and Dad traveled with us. And then what we did is we got a job with a band that was playing at the Edison Hotel in New York. Am I going too fast?
No,
for you, Fred?
not at all.
Are you sure?
No,
Are you still here?
I'm just gathering all of this in, and these folks are going to...
Soaking it all
I
up,
am.
aren't you?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I'm soaking is what I'm doing.
We are too.
It's warm today.
Very warm today. But everybody's so nice here.
So you're in New York.
So we're in New York, and we sang at a broadcast, and a vice president of Decca Records was heard us singing on the radio, and he offered us to go up to Decca Records to sing for the president, and we did, and they gave us our first record, which nobody bought but our relatives. Let me see, how many relatives have I got? 6? That's how many records sold. 6 records. So, but they were wonderful, and they had a lot of faith in us, so they gave us another chance, and the second record was by Mirbis Duchesne. And that was
The
our
biggie.
first big record.
That's
and that
right.
started it all.
But I'll tell you, wouldn't that first one be a collector's item today?
Oh, I don't know.
I do. Are you
well,
kidding?
I'll tell you why it may not be, because now the records are on CDs.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't make any. You like the original, the old blue label.
Hey, I love them. I love them. You know, Time
nice.
Life is coming out with all of those.
Oh, yeah, the big bands and everything.
Yeah. You
sure.
guys are on those. It's
Sure.
super. It's
Yeah.
great. Okay, so now you're into a record contract. You come out here then?
No, we worked around New York, and then we had our own radio shows in New York. And finally we got this offer to go out to California to make a picture. And we did. Our first picture was made with the Ritz Brothers. And, boy, that was a nightmare, believe me.
What was the name of it?
Because they were so crazy,
Yeah.
you never know what they were going to do. It was called Argentine Nights.
Argentine
But,
Nights.
yeah, I know. I can see the look on your face.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think anybody saw that picture.
Well, they're showing all these old movies now. I'm kind of anxious
You'll never
to see.
see that one on.
Is that right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I remember when we saw the preview of that in New York, we ran out of the theater crying. Oh, gosh. It was really something. But isn't it funny? Always the second things that happened to us. Because the second picture was Buck Privates with Abbott and Costello. And that was
Biggie.
a picture, big hit, big smash picture. And then we made 2 other pictures with Abbott and Costello.
Where are we? About 1940?
We don't have to talk about
Okay,
age or time
wait,
or anything
okay.
like that, do we, Fred?
Well, I
How
just.
old are you, Fred?
I'm not quite that old, but I just look
No,
at.
I'm just kidding. That was about 1940.
Because I was thinking when Buck Privates came out, and I was thinking somewhere in that.
You weren't born then, were you?
Yeah, 36.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
My God, I'm talking to an infant.
Not really.
What am I
Not really.
doing
I'm a
here?
senior citizen this year. I'm
Oh,
55.
are you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alrighty.
Okay, so this is just before the war.
Just before the war. And the name of the picture was called Buck Private, so that was, when they were inducting young boys into the Army, And in that picture, we had some wonderful songs, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy,
Right.
that came from there, and Apple Blossom Time.
One of my favorites.
And then we made 2 other pictures with Abbott and Costello. And from there on, we made 22 movies on our own. We made a couple of films for Walt Disney called Little Toot and Johnny Fedora and Alice Blue Bonnet. And then we made one at Warner Brothers. I think that was called Hollywood Canteen. And then we did one with Bing and Bob and Dottie L'Amour at Paramount called Road to Rio. So we made quite a few movies, 22 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an exciting time.
Oh, listen, we were so lucky. Honestly, we just had the most wonderful career.
How about the war years? Let's talk a minute about the
But
war
the war
years.
years, well, we went overseas for USO.
Now, they actually commissioned you, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And what rank were you?
I was a captain. No, I think I was a lieutenant.
A lieutenant.
Oh, who cared? I had a wonderful times with captains, lieutenants. But anyway, we went over to Europe. We went all over Italy and Sicily and Casablanca and Africa and North Africa. And we were over there for about 6 weeks because we had a radio show and we just had a 6-week period off, so we could go over there during that time. Then we had to come back home.
You realize how many people may be on tonight that was at those stations?
Oh, I believe it.
That
I
you,
believe
that
it.
you stopped?
Yeah, because I still meet a lot of fellas, that were
And they'll say,
stationed in-
remember?
Sure, we're in Caserta, Italy when we were there, and a lot of servicemen and a lot of colonels. And
I heard a story one time about there was a secret mission you people were on, but that it was top secret and they diverted you.
no, you want to know what it was? We
Okay.
were kidnapped.
Okay.
The 3 of us were kidnapped. We were on the plane. Of course, we didn't know at that time. When you get on the plane, you don't know where you're going because they never tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 of us, this is funny, the 3 of us were on the plane with about 250 GIs that were being flown over to what they called in those days the hump. I believe that was over in India.
Between India and China.
Right.
Yes.
And so all of a sudden the plane landed in Casablanca. And the door opened to the plane, and in walked 2 servicemen. They were special service. And they looked around, you know, the plane and everything, and there's 250 guys there, just the three of us girls, you know. And they're looking around, and finally the fella says, which one of you guys are the Andrews sisters? He had a great sense of humor, right? So we raised our hands, you know, scared to death. We didn't know what was going to happen. And so he says, okay, follow me. So we followed him, we got off the plane, and he checked us in at, I remember it was called the Anfa Hotel. In fact, I believe that's where they had the conference between where Roosevelt and Winston Churchill
In Stalin?
and Stalin met. That's where they stayed, at the Anfa Hotel. That's why I remember it so clearly. So anyway, they put us up there at this hotel, but it was all service people, you know, in the hotel. It wasn't a commercial hotel. And so they kept us there for 3 days, and we were out every moment doing shows from back of trucks and out in the fields and all over, you know, in big stadiums, and for about 3-4 days. But we didn't know that, you know, finally it came out, where are the Andrews sisters? We were supposed to be landing in Naples, Italy, you know. So they finally tracked it down, and they found us, and they put us on another plane, and I don't know what happened to those two guys, I really don't.
They're probably still laughing about that, you know?
Not still laughing. They may still be in
well,
Casablanca.
that could be, too. When you were in the service, did they take a band with you, or did they just make it up at that point?
Oh, no. We had an accordion player with us.
That's it?
That's all, because you see, you'd go into the hospitals and entertain for the boys, you know, that were injured and stationed, you know, in different hospital tents and things like that. But so you had an accordion player.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
So the war gets over. Carry on. What?
Well, here I am. Fred.
No.
Here
Now, come
I
on.
am.
We've been over the war for 45 years. But I know.
Already?
Well, I read that
Yes,
somewhere.
it
I
is.
think they're lying.
That's about it.
More movies, though, at that time. There were more movies happening and
Oh,
things
yes,
like
we
that.
kept making our own movies, you know. At that
How many
time.
records have you made?
Oh, my gosh, many, many years ago it was over 80 million records, but it's been more than that now.
I'll bet it has.
Yes.
I'll bet it has.
We have a lot of gold records and things like that.
That is. Let me ask you
You
now.
know, another thing, too?
What?
I have a medal from the Secretary of Defense for going overseas.
Really?
Yes, I have a beautiful medal that they gave me.
How nice. When there were 3 of you in the group and they give you a gold record, how does that come out? Who gets the record?
Well, that's a good question, because that would happen very often. You know, they think
Just one record comes out, right?
One
Okay.
record,
So you got to do
you know,
something.
so we had to, you know,
Flip a
really.
coin or something.
No. We had to say to them, you've got to give each one of us. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
So
they didn't at first, you know.
how many gold records you got?
Well, the first gold record that we got 5 at the same time.
Is
We got
that
5 gold records at the same time.
good grief?
And don't forget, too, you know, that the gold records started in 1948, and we had all those big sellers
Before.
from 37 up, you know,
Yeah.
to that time.
Is that when you did what was it? Mr. Duchesne?
By Mirbis Duchesne.
Okay, whatever.
Some people say, give me a beer, Mr. Shane, you know,
Give me a
like that. Right?
37? Is that when that one came out?
1937, in November of 1937, we recorded that song.
You're just amazing.
You know, I just celebrated 50 years in show business, you know.
Well, you're amazing.
How about that, folks?
That's
huh?
great.
Isn't that a rah, rah,
yeah,
rah, rah, rah?
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Sure.
I've been waiting a long time to see you, and I just saw the people coming in. I can't believe it. Big crowd tonight. Big
That's
crowd
nice.
tonight.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you here, and I
Gary's happy about that, too.
I wish we could talk and
I do, too, Fred. It's been very, very comfortable sitting here talking to you.
Well, thank you, you.
Yes.
But it's for the folks who can't come out, and that's the main thing.
Really?
Yeah, and or some reason they can't make it tonight, so this will go on the local channel. So the next time they'll know, and they'll come and see you.
That's terrific.
How about that?
Yeah, you got to do that now.
You look super. You really look super, and I appreciate you coming. You got a friend.
Who's your friend? Huh?
I don't know.
Spy.
Yeah, right. Anyway, it's I just can't tell you. I just can't say enough that
That's nice,
it's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking to the great Patty Andrews, and we're going to enjoy it tonight. And I just wish that you were all here to hear her. And next show she comes, hopefully next year we'll put it in the paper and hope you're here. Thank you very much, and good night from Backstage.
Very nice. Very nice. Both mother